Well, hello my dear gardening friends. Now is the middle of April and I remember that last year when I looked through the canopies of trees and the first time I saw that beautiful, wonderful light green was the 5th of April. Now we have the 18th of April and today is the first day when I actually look at the trees and I see that beautiful green haze coming in. So clearly we are having a very late spring and my seedlings, which I was raising in my sunroom, have some successes and some failures, unfortunately. So today in this video I'm going to update you on my seedlings, and I also will show you my hydrangea, which I received as a gift for Easter. And by the way, I hope everybody had a wonderful Easter. And I want to save that hydrangea. I don't want that hydrangea to die in a beautiful Easter arrangement box. And hopefully it will be introduced in my garden successfully and will make another beautiful mop head hydrangea. My patio is getting livelier and livelier by the day, and here's my success story. Let's begin with the success story, and later I will introduce you to my failures. So this is Blue Monday Sage Salvia, and this salvia is an annual. I raised it from seeds. I planted it into little peat pots. Well, probably maybe 2 months ago, something like that. And then after that, when this little salvia seedlings got its permanent leaves, I planted it outside into this. You see, I made little containers out of newspapers, and it works for me in my garden because these newspapers are deep and they can be stacked tightly together, these little containers. And I can save space because in my sunroom I don't have a lot of space. So this works for me, and right away when you have your wonderful little plant, oh gosh, they're all intertwinkled, I just take newspaper off and it's ready to go into the soil. So these guys are going to be introduced into the pots and they will be happily growing here together with my sedums. They grow very well. They're going to be of beautiful blue color, and they are famous for having a truest blue in the garden, and I like blue color in the garden. So this would be growing in pots on my patio, and maybe I will introduce them here and there in my garden. Now, a failure story. Oh gosh, look at this. This is my lacy facilia. Lacy facilia is a beautiful annual plant which I got introduced to it by Michael Marriott, the Rosarian, former Rosarian and David Austin nurseries. And he said that this American native prairie plant is very good to go with roses. So I decided I'm going to plant it this year. So first time I planted it, facilia germinated like literally next day. And on the package it says facilia can take up to 1 month to germinate. No, that's wrong. Germinated next day and started growing very lanky, very tall, and not happy at all in my light situations. My window is facing a southern location, but I don't raise my plants under artificial light. So I thought to myself, gosh, this doesn't look good. Let me try again later when the sun was much stronger. So facilia will have more, maybe will be growing in warmer conditions and will have more sun. And look at this, this is the second time around. So scrap the plans of growing facilia indoors for me. I remember when I bought facilia, one of the viewers said that they bought facilia too. So I'm curious to see what that person's experience is growing facilia in the house from seeds. So the plan for this facilia is I'm going to use the rest of the seeds I have, and I'm going to plant it right there. Come with me and I will show you. And also I will keep you updated on what's going on under my beautiful arch. So some of these things will be replanted here. That 6-hill giant is going to be planted into the pots. It's a little bully here. He just keeps growing and growing and growing, and then it flops and it just basically suffocates everything around it. So he was moved twice. This is not a good place for it, so I'm going to divide him in 3 and put him into the pots on my patio. So he will have a nice big silvery presence on the patio. This guy is going to be moved too, and around here, everywhere, I want facilia growing. And facilia has these lacy, beautiful, airy blue flowers. And David and Michael Merritt said that facilia is very elegant flower. And I like elegance in gardens. So facilia would be growing all around here for, hopefully, if I will be successful raising it. Now that is my brother Gatfile rose right there. It needs to be replanted. I'm protecting it from rabbits, which, by the way, are not existing in our garden. You know why? Somebody last year saw a bobcat next street to ours. And since then, this is all my theory. I don't think my husband agrees to my theory, but hey. And I think that the population of squirrels and populations of rabbits drastically disappearing. My husband is now looking at me, giving me a big smile. So we don't have rabbits in our garden. I talked yesterday to my neighbor. She doesn't have rabbits in her garden either. So I'm just keeping it here just in case, because this rose was badly damaged last year by rabbits and never had a good start. So I'm going to move this rose right here into this spot to create a nice present. It's a big rose. It has huge, beautiful pink flowers, very big flowers. And this rose needs to flourish. It's growing there in the shade, plus it was damaged, so I don't think it's a good space for it. So that's it. Facilia will be moving up here. Now, the last thing I want to do with you today is I want to make this gift into a plant. You see how beautiful it is? It's an Easter present from my family, from my brother and sister-in-law. So when you take all this paraphernalia out, all this stuff out, you are left with a very small pot. And that pot has a tendency to dry very quickly. Oh, it even has a name. It is Hydrangea Michelle. I have to research what Hydrangea Michelle is. The main trick how to introduce your gift hydrangea into the garden would be to take all this stuff out. First of all, oh gosh, this is tough. It's stuck here. There's some sort of artificial moss on top of it. So take all that stuff out. Make sure that your hydrangea is well watered, because these pots are so small, they have a tendency to dry in a day, and then you basically lose your hydrangea. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to repot it like next day. Today is next day after Easter. So if you want to be successful, basically don't keep your hydrangea in this small pot, repot it right away. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these blooms away. I know they look so wonderful, but blooms are very energy expensive for the plant to support. And I'm going to take them out to give this plant enough energy to focus on growing root system. By the way, look at this, roots are coming out. So planting is easy. Oh gosh, look how root bound it is. All right, I'm loosening all the roots. I don't want them to get stuck and going around and around. And I'm planting them in the pot with the soil. Now the question can be, when would be the time when I can move this hydrangea in the pot? And why am I putting it in the pot? Because our temperature is so cold outside. The night temperature yesterday was 36. And in order to move this hydrangea successfully into garden, it has to be, outside temperature has to be regular 50. So right now, this hydrangea is not ready. It's going to be moved outside during the day. I'm going to water it, and it's going to go inside during the night. This way, this hydrangea would be living in and out till the temperature is good and nice, and this baby would be growing in my garden. And we'll remember that in 2022, it was given to me as a gift for Easter. So here we go. I know these guys look so cute, but I'm not going to keep them. Maybe I should put them in the water, you know? I don't know. Okay, so that is it. Oh, one more thing. Let me show you what I did here. Look at this, what I bought. I went to Home Depot, and Home Depot sometimes early spring has these quick shipments of small deliveries of very unusual berry bushes. So I know that, and very early I go to Home Depot just to check what they have, and sure enough, they had honeyberry. And I come from the tradition of berries gardens where I grew up with black currants and red currants and gooseberries growing in the garden. So I looked at this honeyberry, I said, I'm going to have it in the garden. I'm going to introduce it in the front of our garden. But honeyberry needs a male and female pollinator. So I bought 2 of them. So we have Mr. Honeyberry. Hello, you're stuck a little bit. Move to Mr. Honeyberry. Mr. Honeyberry and Mrs. Honeyberry. So they will cross-pollinate each other. And by the way, don't look at the size of this little guy. He is a giant. He's going to be 8 feet tall and 8 feet wide. So that's going to be a big bush in the front of my garden. But in that area we had a tree, plum tree growing. It wasn't producing very well, so we had to take it out. And instead we are going to plant this bush there. So a lot of things are going on here. And by the way, this was just like a candy. I had to buy this little cheerful little rock foil. It's a little ground cover. I'm going to propagate it more in my garden. So this is a nice little wonderful introduction to the garden. All right, happy gardening. I will see you next time.